Hey, welcome to World Code Updates. Please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon for more updates. In a move that surprised many in the defense community, the Philippine Navy has made headlines by accepting only 3 out of the 6 Abukuma-class destroyer escorts offered by Japan. This decision has sparked widespread discussion among military analysts and regional observers who had expected Manila to eagerly accept all 6 vessels, given the country's ongoing maritime security challenges and the increasing tensions in the West Philippine Sea. On paper, the addition of 6 warships would have represented a significant leap forward for the Philippine Navy, which is tasked with patrolling and defending one of the world's longest and most complex coastlines. With thousands of islands and vast stretches of open water to monitor, the Navy is often stretched thin, making any offer of additional ships seem like a golden opportunity to bolster its presence and capabilities. Yet, despite the apparent advantages, Manila's response was a polite but unmistakably firm thanks, but no thanks for half of the Japanese offer. This decision was not made lightly, and it reflects a deeper, more nuanced approach to defense planning than many might assume. So, why would a Navy that is clearly in need of more ships turn down free assets, especially from a close regional partner like Japan? The answer goes beyond simple numbers or the allure of expanding the fleet. The real reason lies in a calculated strategic choice. The Philippine Navy is no longer in the business of accepting every hand-me-down that comes its way. Instead, it is carefully weighing the long-term costs, logistical challenges, and overall strategic fit of each new asset. This marks a significant shift in mindset, from a focus on quantity to a focus on quality and sustainability. Maintaining older warships, especially those that have already seen decades of service, can be a costly and resource-intensive endeavor. The Abukuma-class ships, while still capable, are not new. They require extensive refurbishment, regular maintenance, and a steady supply of spare parts, resources that the Philippine Navy must carefully allocate. By choosing to accept only 3 ships, the Navy is signaling a maturing defense establishment, one that's focused on building a sustainable, effective force rather than simply increasing its numbers. This approach also reflects a broader commitment to modernization, ensuring that every new addition to the fleet aligns with the Navy's long-term goals and operational requirements. The real question then is not just why Manila turned down 3 ships, but why it chose to accept 3 in the first place. The answer lies in a careful balance between immediate needs and future ambitions. The age of the ships, the high cost of refurbishment, and the limited manpower available to operate and maintain additional vessels all played a role in the decision. The Philippine Navy must also consider the training required for crews, the integration of new technologies, and the compatibility of these ships with existing systems. At the same time, the Philippines is pursuing its own ambitious modernization goals, aiming to build a Navy that is not only larger, but also more capable and technologically advanced. Accepting too many older ships could divert resources away from these priorities and slow down the transition to a more modern fleet. Ultimately, this decision is a case study in the complexities of modern defense cooperation. It shows that the best choice is not always the most obvious one, and that true progress sometimes means making tough strategic decisions for the long-term benefit of the nation's security and sovereignty. Japan's offer, up to 6 Abukuma-class destroyer escorts, was unprecedented for the Philippines. These Cold War-era ships, while not the newest, would have been a major upgrade for the Philippine fleet, but the offer came with strings. These were aging vessels, requiring significant investment to become operational. The real dilemma: take more ships and risk stretching resources thin, or focus on a smaller sustainable force. The Philippine Navy chose the latter, prioritizing what it could realistically operate and maintain. It's a decision that values long-term readiness over short-term numbers. Sometimes, less is more. The Abukuma-class destroyer escorts were purpose-built during the height of the Cold War, a time when tensions between global superpowers shaped naval strategy and technology. Designed for both anti-submarine and anti-surface warfare, these ships were Japan's answer to the growing threat of Soviet submarines and surface vessels prowling the Pacific. Their presence at sea was a constant reminder of the era's high-stakes maritime chess game, where every patrol and exercise was a show of strength and readiness. Heavier and better armed than most Philippine ships, the Abukuma class brings a formidable arsenal to the table, outfitted with advanced sonar arrays, torpedo launchers, harpoon anti-ship missiles, and a rapid-firing 76mm main gun. These warships were designed to detect, track, and neutralize enemy threats long before they could strike. Their robust sensor suites and weapon systems made them a key component of Japan's maritime defense, capable of operating independently or as part of a larger fleet. However, despite their impressive capabilities, these ships are now over 30 years old. Their technology, once cutting edge, is now largely analog, with control panels and navigation systems that predate the digital revolution. The engines, while powerful, are complex and consume large amounts of fuel, making them less efficient and more challenging to maintain compared to modern warships. Integrating these vessels into a new navy isn't a simple plug-and-play process. It requires adapting to unfamiliar technology, retraining crews, and establishing new maintenance routines. The ships must also be prepared for different climates and operational environments, which can affect everything from electronics to hull integrity. Logistics chains must be reworked to supply spare parts and specialized equipment, adding another layer of complexity. The age of the Abukuma class means that many critical systems are nearing the end of their service lives. Overhauls or outright replacement of engines, sensors, and weapons may be necessary to ensure reliability and safety. Corrosion, outdated wiring, and worn mechanical parts all pose significant challenges that must be addressed before these ships can return to frontline duty. For the Philippine Navy, bringing these ships up to modern standards would require significant investment in upgrading electronics and combat systems. Integrating them with the rest of the fleet means ensuring compatibility with current communication networks, radar, and weapons control systems. This modernization is essential for effective joint operations and to maximize the ship's combat potential. Despite these hurdles, the Abukuma class offers real potential for the Philippines. If the challenges of age and technology can be overcome, these ships could significantly enhance the Navy's capabilities, providing a valuable boost in maritime security and regional presence. Their transfer would also symbolize deepening defense ties between Japan and the Philippines. But acquiring these ships is just the beginning. The real test lies in making them work. Training crews, establishing new procedures, and building the technical expertise needed to operate and maintain them effectively. It's a process that demands time, resources, and dedication from everyone involved. In the end, transforming these Cold War warriors into a modern fighting force is a tall order for any navy. But with determination and the right support, it's a challenge that can be met, turning old steel into a new symbol of strength at sea. Japan's offer to transfer naval ships to the Philippines was undeniably generous, reflecting a spirit of partnership and regional cooperation. However, even the most well-intentioned gestures have their boundaries, shaped by practical realities and strategic considerations. While the proposal was warmly received, it was clear from the outset that there were important limitations to what could be provided and how quickly. The 6 ships under discussion were not all in the same condition. Some were relatively modern and well-maintained, while others were older vessels that had seen years of service. These aging ships would require extensive and expensive refits to bring them up to operational standards suitable for the Philippine Navy. The cost and time involved in refurbishing these ships could not be underestimated. Japan's official security assistance program, which funds such transfers, operates within a strictly limited budget. Allocating resources to overhaul all 6 ships at once would risk spreading these funds too thin, potentially compromising the quality and effectiveness of the assistance. Every yen spent must be carefully justified, especially when national security is at stake. Adding to the complexity, sensitive Japanese military technology and classified equipment must be removed from each vessel before transfer. This process is not only technically challenging but also adds significant cost and time to the preparation of each ship. By focusing on just 3 ships for the initial transfer, Japan can ensure that each vessel is thoroughly refurbished, properly equipped, and fully prepared for service in the Philippine Navy. This approach allows for a higher standard of quality and reliability, benefiting both countries in the long run. Japan's own maritime security needs also play a crucial role. Decommissioning all 6 ships at once would leave gaps in Japan's naval readiness, potentially weakening its ability to respond to regional threats or fulfill its own defense commitments. The timing of the transfer must be carefully coordinated with Japan's ongoing fleet renewal schedule. As new ships are built and commissioned, older vessels can be released for transfer without jeopardizing operational capabilities. In reality, the transfer was always intended to be a phased process, allowing both navies to adapt and plan accordingly. This gradual approach ensures that each step is managed efficiently and that both sides can learn from the experience. Starting with 3 ships is a practical and manageable solution for both Japan and the Philippines. It lays a strong foundation for future cooperation while respecting the limits of generosity and the realities of defense planning. For the Philippines, the real constraint isn't ships, it's trained sailors. Each Abukuma needs about 200 crew. 6 ships would require 200 personnel the Navy doesn't have. Operating costs, especially fuel, would strain the defense budget. Logistics for 6 aging ships would overwhelm support systems. The Navy is already investing in new, modern ships with integrated support. Diverting resources to 6 old vessels could undermine long-term modernization. 3 Abukumas bridge a short-term gap without mortgaging the future. It's a balanced, realistic approach. In military procurement, free ships come with hidden costs. Refitting a 30-year-old warship means dry docking, overhauling engines, and modernizing systems, costing millions per ship. Crew training is another major expense, requiring new pipelines and expertise. Sourcing spare parts for obsolete systems can be a logistical nightmare. Ammunition and maintenance add to the long-term bill. Trying to do this for 6 ships at once would stretch budgets and readiness. By focusing on 3, the Philippines can afford proper upgrades, training, and sustainment. The result, ships that are actually ready for action. Sometimes, less really does mean more. Japan's transfer of Abukuma-class ships is a strategic move, not just a gift. It strengthens the Philippines as a frontline state in the South China Sea, supporting regional stability. The official security assistance program marks a shift in Japan's security policy, allowing direct military aid. For Japan, a capable Philippine Navy is a valuable partner for joint operations and deterrence. 3 well-supported ships are more useful than 6 underfunded ones. This deepens the alliance, making it operational, not just political. The goal, real capability, not just numbers. It's a win-win for both nations. The Philippine Navy's choice reflects a modern military mindset, quality and sustainability over quantity. 3 fully crewed, well-maintained ships are more valuable than 6 that can't leave port. Concentrated resources mean better upgrades, training and logistics. These ships can integrate with the Navy's new frigates, forming a modern, networked force. The decision shows discipline and foresight, qualities that build trust with allies. It's not about a quick expansion, but about building a credible, effective fleet. The Philippines is proving it's serious about defense modernization. This is how you build a navy for the future. The 3 Abukuma-class ships will transform the Philippine Navy's capabilities. They'll form a new anti-submarine squadron, securing sea lanes and deterring threats. Based at upgraded facilities like Subic Bay, they'll operate alongside new frigates and patrol vessels. Each ship will play a specialized role, creating a balanced, versatile fleet. This isn't a sign of limitation. It's strategic wisdom. The Navy is making data-driven, pragmatic choices for long-term security. The alliance with Japan grows stronger, sending a clear signal to the region. The Philippines gains a credible tool to defend its waters. This is what modern, smart defense looks like.